Hey everyone, Amazon is developing several strategic initiatives that are expanding its profit margins. In this video, I'll discuss what those strategic imperatives are, how they're expanding its operating profit margins, and I'll demonstrate to you just how much those operating profit margins are expanding and why that's great news for Amazon stock investors. So let's jump right into it.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So one of the areas Amazon is working on to expand operating profitability is the advertising segment. And in 2023, Amazon's advertising progress remained strong, growing 24% year over year, gaining market share because several other of the larger advertising businesses like Alphabet and Meta Platforms and others, they grew by significantly less than 24% year over year. So the industry didn't grow by this much. Amazon grew by nearly 3 times the rate of the overall ad industry growth. So in total they generated 47 billion in ad revenue in 2023. That was up from 38 billion in 2022, a $9 billion increase. And this was primarily driven by their sponsored advertisements. Now, I've talked a little bit about why these advertisements are so powerful. I've said that Amazon holds the best advertising inventory in the world. Why do I say that? Because Amazon's customers are one click away from making a purchase, just one click away. You can't get any closer to a customer purchase. If you're a marketer and you're trying to obviously influence consumers to buy your products, right? You can't get any closer to that purchase decision than on Amazon sponsored ads because it's one click away. At that consumer, if it sees the right advertisement, will make that click and make that purchase. If you're advertising on TV, for example, that's so much further away from the purchase decision. At that point, you're just trying to raise awareness of your brand and hope that sometime down the line, when that customer is looking to make a purchase, they remember that they saw your company's advertisement a little while ago. Versus when you're advertising on Amazon sponsored ads, it's right there, one click away. So it's incredibly popular among marketers looking to influence consumer purchasing decisions. And you can see evidence of that growing 24% year over year when the industry grew by less than double digits in 2023. So Amazon growing at nearly 2.5 times the rate of industry growth in this area. And I wouldn't be surprised if this continues. I wouldn't be surprised if this continues because of that competitive advantage Amazon's advertising holds over all other advertising choices that marketers could have. Now, of course, this helps more so if you also have items for sale on Amazon. And if you don't have items for sale on Amazon, it might not be as helpful. But thankfully, Amazon's increasing the number of items on the platform. Hundreds of millions of items are now available. Just last year alone, they added tens of millions of items. As the business grows, as more people shop on Amazon, that will lead to more opportunity for this advertising business, and this will boost its profitability because operating profit margins are really high for advertising businesses. Meta Platforms, Alphabet, operating profit margins of 40% and over 20% respectively. Ad companies overall generate strong profitability because you're not spending so much for that capability to deliver advertisements. And so with each incremental dollar that comes in from ad revenue, that leads to greater profitability. So Amazon's profit margins have been on the upswing lately. You can see its operating profit margin in the last decade up to 6.41%, near the highest it's ever been. But going back 10 years, you can see it climbing. Even though it's been volatile, it's been choppy. You can draw a trend line here from 2015 up till right now, and you can see an upward trend in its operating profitability. One of the reasons for that has been the advertising business. The other reason for it has been its Amazon Web Services segment, which I'll talk a little bit more about a little bit later in the video. But the ad revenue, the ad business has been a strong contributor to its profit margin, and it's likely to continue because recently they expanded their streaming TV advertising by introducing ads into Prime Video. Shows and movies where brands can now reach over 200 million monthly viewers. So this was recent. This has been in the last few months or so. In 2024, they're going to have the benefit of this ad revenue on top of the ad revenue that they get from their sponsored ads. So the advertising segment, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues growing at this north of 20% rate of growth, which is going to be really positive for Amazon's profitability in 2024. Now, moving on to Amazon Web Services. So AWS started 2023 seeing substantial cost optimization. What that means is companies were looking to AWS as an area to cut spending. They were looking at that as one thing that they have discretion over that they could reduce in 2023. Because remember, coming into 2023, the big thing over the economy was the fear of a recession. The Federal Reserve had just raised interest rates north of 5% relatively quickly, and businesses worldwide were concerned that was going to lead to a recession. And so they cut spending in preparation for an oncoming slowdown in consumer spending. That never really came to fruition. The economy remained strong throughout 2023, and while companies prepared for a recession, it never happened. But the good thing was that because of all those cost-cutting efforts that they implemented, profit margins increased for many businesses worldwide. Remember, early in 2023, you were hearing of companies like Amazon and Meta Platforms and Alphabet and Salesforce and Microsoft cutting tens of thousands of jobs because they were concerned we were going to enter a recession. It never happened, but those cost-cutting efforts still paid off. It still paid off. Profit margins expanded, and these companies learned to effectively serve their customers with fewer employees. Sure, customer service was not great, but many of these companies were not very good at customer service anyways, so they just found a way to manage their customer relationships with fewer employees. But by the end of 2023, Amazon saw cost optimization improving, new deals accelerating, customers renewing at larger commitments over longer time periods, and migrations growing again. So to begin the year, enterprises were looking at AWS as an area to cut spending. Going out of the year or completing the year, by the end of the year, companies were looking at AWS as an opportunity to increase spending because it was delivering a good return on investment. They were seeing that as a place that they wanted to spend because it was going to improve their business, and signing longer deals, feeling more comfortable about the state of the economy, and willing to increase their spending with AWS. And AWS, this segment generates roughly 30% operating profitability for Amazon. And as I showed you earlier, the company's overall operating profit margin was just 6.41% in the trailing 12 months. It's the AWS segment that lifts that operating profit margin higher because that segment of the business approaches 30% in operating profitability. So here's another segment where Amazon sees increasing revenue more than double digits in 2024 and adding to its incremental profitability in 2024. So with advertising growing likely faster than it did in 2023 and AWS growing likely faster than it did in 2023, these two segments, these two projects or areas of opportunity are going to be incrementally positive for Amazon stock investors in 2024, likely lifting its operating profit margin even higher than where it was in 2023. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.